Right, ready? What are we talking
No.
about today? What's the topic of
So
this?
sorry, I know you've not read any of the fucking prelim. Jim Bob has just started up on his own. So we're going to
He
talk
hasn't just
business.
started up on his own.
Well, no, but we have in the grand scheme
Yeah,
of things, ain't you?
yeah,
So,
it's just a long process. It's just I am on my own. I'm not on my own. It's stepping
yeah,
stones.
we're going to have a dabble about that. Do you mind us talking about where you came from, where we all know you from,
But
just briefly?
whatever. I don't get. I'll talk about anything.
So obviously ex Nagy, so we'll briefly touch on that. But we're not going to dwell on it. We want to move on. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't want
Yeah,
to talk
that's fine.
about Tom or anything like that. I just
but
want to,
just let's just say, obviously, he's working for him. Now you're on your own.
yeah,
That's
I
it.
don't
That's
want to
no
ask any
more than that.
questions about him and shit like that because if he wants to come on, he can. He won't.
No, because he'll get upset because I ripped his thingy video
Listen,
when he
everyone's ripped
capped
him
on
at some point.
it. I like him though. I'm a fan.
He's the best YouTuber by far. Right, ready?
Let's do it.
Hello and welcome. We're back. Monday Club, Electricians Podcast Monday Club. Tonight we've got a special guest, it's Jimbo the Electrician.
Yo, what's happening?
Oh, so Jimbo is, for those of you who don't know, used to work for Tom Nagy, the king of YouTube, electrical YouTube, and now he has gone out on his own, and we are going to talk about the trials and tribulations of setting up by yourself, especially as a young lad, and like how it's been, what it's been through, any top tips and all the things to avoid. So, without further ado, Jamie, why are you sitting there with a dumb look on your face?
Because you need to read that. Because you need to the sponsor.
Well, I'll get to the sponsor in a minute.
I'm just sat waiting. I'm not sure the new flow of this new system or the new regime, but
So,
I am here and I'm on time. That's the most important thing.
well, you're not. So, just so as everyone knows, as always, Jamie, do the honours. We are sponsored by Verso. Verso do fuse boards, sockets, switches, all the accessories you need to rewire a house successfully. Now, their fuse boards are awesome. Their buzz bars are silver plated, and they've got new small form factor AFDDs. So go and check them out in the show notes below on audio and on YouTube. Go and check them out. Have a click on there and see what's good. Also, head over to my install at versoelectrical.co.uk and sign up for all the top tips and tricks coming out in the industry so far. Right,
And if I'm not mistaken, we'll be covering that later, won't we? Because I think I seen someone fitting one on YouTube earlier.
Don't know.
Who might give a little sneak peek there.
Don't know. I'll just turn up, mate. So today I thought I'd rock a luminous yellow.
I was going to say, you looked a bit.
Very nice.
You look like you was friends with. You know what I mean? I don't
Listen,
say it, but
all I'm saying is, I bought
you look like
it.
you're in a baby grow.
Yeah, I know, right?
You look like George Dawes. What are the scores? Sam's got a big baby grow.
No, do you know what? I bought it in Primark the other day. My missus hated it, and I thought, well, when am I ever going to wear that? Never.
And you're going to wear it now.
Wear it tonight. It's freezing.
So yeah. So sorry for any visual viewers. You have to look somewhat look like my child. Honestly, I've got some news actually. News.
Does Jimbo want to talk, or are we just going to talk over?
I'm just going to do the news
No,
first before we started.
You do what you got to do.
I read online the other day, and I finished. Yeah. From now on, if you read professional electrician, that counts as 1 hour of CPD. So I officially declare for all you listeners out there, yeah, if you listen to this shit for 1 hour, that's 1 hour CPD. And if anyone says it's not, tell them to come and see me. So
Hold
yeah,
on. First of all, definitely don't take an hour to read professional electrician. No one has ever.
3 seconds.
Yeah, it's like middle page.
I can't confirm why or how that is the case, but they have said that's the case. So I'm saying if you listen to this is CPD as far as I'm concerned now. In fact, I'll put this down as CPD on myself.
Do you know what? Last time we mentioned professional electrician, I got a load of emails and messages from them quoting me off, and they found anyone to do with us and quoted us off.
Do you not think these are connected, Sam? Do you not think this is connected to that? So yeah, just by simply picking up a copy of professional electrician and having it on the dashboard of your van for the next 6 weeks, you get 1 hour of CPD. And
Decent.
Sam gets 1 hour of aggro. So yeah, moving on.
what other news is there?
What was there? the Electricians podcast is back. If you don't like swearing, so I just thought I'd let everyone know that and to chance to have a listen. Yeah, and Jay the Spark, who we mentioned last week, is going to come on because I
Hold on a
mentioned
minute,
him
what are
last
you
week.
saying? Electricians? We're Electricians podcast. You mean the Electricians show?
The Electrician Show. It's amazing how Neil named that so similar, isn't it? It's almost like he did it on purpose and then
Listen.
released his show on a Monday, for fuck's sake, Neil. But anyway,
Nah, listen, it's all good. A lot of love for them lot. They do what they do. They do it different to us, and that's important because you don't want two of the same show, do you?
no, you
And
want everyone to go over
variety's the
there.
spice of life, isn't it?
You want everyone, all the listeners want to listen to that and then realise how good they've got it here.
That's a dickhead. What was the other bit of news, Bellend?
Little bit of feedback. I mentioned Jay Sport last week.
Stop swearing.
I'm about to cover that. I mentioned Jay Sport last week, who blanked me when I asked him on. He's actually going to agree to come on now, so that's good.
Brilliant.
Feedback wise, Stuart in the comments. You've seen Stuart in the comments, haven't you? Stuart in the comments said we should try a month without swearing, right? And I'm generally gonna cover this now in a serious matter, yeah. This is me. This isn't an act. This is what I'm like. I don't think you can manage it, Stuart. So sorry.
No, and
But
this is
we appreciate your feedback, and we generally do appreciate your feedback, and that's why I'm mentioning it.
a lot of the time I try not to, but then I get into a flow and I can't help myself. I try not to drop big things, but every episode since you've been on, you've managed to drop either a really bad swear word, a banned YouTube word, or covered a topic that is not okay.
I'm getting better at doing all those things.
Yes, you are. Wow.
But yeah, I'm getting better. Yeah, we're not putting it on. We're not doing it. It's just how it comes out, mate. Because once I get into the Sparky vibe, I just act like I'm on site. Basically, that's what this podcast is.
Well, you shouldn't be on site talking like
So I'll
that.
try my best to be not a potty mouth. But yeah, but what I want to say was what's important from that is we read that, and Sam's obviously read it because he picked me up before I mentioned it, and I've read it, and you're right. We'll give it a go, Stuart. So yeah, all feed. That's the first bit of feedback we've got.
For a long
It's not
time.
negative. Not negative, is it? But
No,
it's
a good
the
point,
first
like-
bit of feedback where someone's raised a good point. So they're going, "Oh, great show," because we don't want to get stuck in that being sucked off, basically. You know what I mean? Like we don't want everyone to go, "How great we are." I want people to say what's wrong.
Can't do it.
Yeah,
Fucking
done it.
can't do
There you go.
Now
Sorry,
I
Stuart.
can't do it.
But
Listen,
yeah, we
we're
don't want to get in an
sparks.
echo chamber. That's what I want. We don't want to be in an echo chamber. Everyone said it's good. We want people to tell us what's bad like that. So yeah, cheers, Stuart. We appreciate it.
Can we go on the podcast now?
Don't you want to do news and stuff? Fucking hell, mate. I don't know why I bother.
Jimbo, what's new in your life, mate?
So it broke up a little bit. Sorry.
What's new in your life? What have you been up to?
Oh,
No, what? Actually, let's go back a bit, mate. Let's go back.
Right back.
Let's go right back to the beginning. Now, did you like I said at the beginning, you worked for Tom Nagy
yeah.
for a little while. Was that to finish your apprenticeship, or did you do your whole apprenticeship with him?
No, so before I moved to Tom, I was working for a company for 6-7 years. So
Yep.
I done my apprenticeship with them, worked for them for another 4 years, got my test and inspector with them and whatever, and then upload a picture to Twitter, a board I'd done, a 3-phase board. And I think I was watching YouTube at the time, like Tom, Nick Bundy, Artisan, or whatever. So I tagged Tom in it, like I said, and he messaged me if you ever want a job at London, message him, whatever. So like a year passed again, messaged him, and then because I was just looking for a new job at the time, and he just said, "Yeah, come up." So then I just went up there as a qualified spark, and I was up there for a year then.
So I thought you was see, I don't really watch much YouTube, but no, that's cool. So you worked with him, like obviously you were staying away from home, and now you've gone back to sunny Wales or rainy Wales. Is it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so especially the weather today. Anyway, it's dreadful.
It's been like it here, mate. Don't worry about it.
So what drew you back to Wales? Why did you go back away from the big smoke, as they say?
It's obviously family, and it's after a year, as much as you're enjoying it and loving life, you know, it's hard. You get 2 days back at home. You're cleaning, you're cooking, you're not seeing anyone. You try to play football, so you're then down to 1 day, and then you just don't have enough time.
What was you digging? Was you digging in London? Was you?
Yeah.
That's not good, is it?
It's so pants.
But as I was saying earlier, I was enjoying it when I was doing it. It's not. I'm making out like I wasn't enjoying it. I loved it up there for the year. It was one of the best years ever. But it just, it takes a toll.
does everyone go away? I worked away. I did that stint. You know, like when you're younger, when you probably still your apprenticeship when you first start your time where you go away.
I did it 2 years ago, like an idiot.
Yeah, but you know, I don't want to. It's good, you know, when you're young lads, it's all right working around it. You go in different places, go in different pubs and all that kind of stuff. It's great. But when I worked in Barrow, there was loads of blokes there, like away from the missus, mixed grilling Weatherspoons every night. I just thought, fucking hell, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Don't mind it now and again. Don't mind jobs, but it does get you down after. It can get you down for a while. I would imagine most normal people would get fed up of
Do
it.
you have to pay for your own digs when you're staying up, or is it covered?
It was a mixture of both. We kind of had an agreement basically, but
Did you Airbnb it then?
hotels.
Oh,
Mr. Big Star.
Yeah.
hotels in London. Oh,
Yeah.
And
No,
well,
but
even on the outskirts, it's a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it was good though. Like, you know, back
As a
home
young
now,
lad,
but
as a young lad, it's an adventure, though, isn't it?
oh yeah, it was like I was quite closed. I want to say closed-minded. I was quite closed into my town where I'm from. Like, you don't know what's out there. Such, you know, I've never like thought. I've never even been to London at that point. And going there, yeah, it's an eye opener. It does open your eye up to there's a lot more than just your little town.
Oh,
It sounds like
are
is
you
this
from
Gavin and Stacey? Am I watching Gavin and Stacey?
No, but I was so comfortable in my job. I was there for, like I said, 6-7 years. You know, it's people do get complacent and you know stuck in your everyday normality. So actually doing that, it was. I'm not scared to do other things like that now, like trying different things. If
You know
like,
what,
one
mate?
thing don't work out,
That's a fucking really good life lesson for everyone listening. Is you know
What are
the
you
sooner
staring again?
because I want to. So fuck you. The sooner you get out of your comfort zone, the better. If something makes you feel uncomfortable, I don't mean sexual things, but if something makes you feel uncomfortable like that, just do it. If you're not used to talking to people, talk to them more. If you don't want to work away because you're nervous about it, go and work away because that's the only way you're getting out of your system. Like public speaking's a big one. If you do it, you get used to it. So yeah, fair one. That's good advice. Like, just go and do it.
yeah, I understand. It's the same, right? It's like jobs. Early in my early years, it's like jobs you like afraid to do. It's like you dread it the next day. But I start overtime, just get over it. Just go and do the job, and nine times out of 10, you smash out anyway. But you always panic.
Because now, as you'll know, now you're on your own. There's no one to go to, is there? You like
no,
you got to do it. I'm going to do this job.
Yeah.
You've got no one to go and ask. You're on your own. You're doing the job. You've got to get it done. So yeah, fair one.
See, so when you went back to Wales, I remember when you went back to Wales and you was working out your car for a bit, wasn't you?
Yeah. I had what was it, Chevrolet Lazzetti? Because I had issues with my Peugeot, so I was using that Chevrolet back and forth London. It was like £1.5 when I bought it, and I was like, well, I ain't got money for a van at the moment, so I'm gonna have to use that. So yeah, that was an absolute nightmare. But looking back now, it's quite funny.
Have you got what you got now? Have you moved up?
Yeah, I got a Caddy Maxi now, and I don't know if you watched Tom's videos, but the racking in the back of the Blingo.
Oh, sorry, fetched it. Yeah, you might fetch it.
Yeah, so I got that, I racked it out. It's nice, and funny enough, this fell over today actually, so I got it everywhere in the back of the van. But
I'm reminiscing now because it sounds like me, mate. I started off I had a Skoda Felicia, then I got a Vauxhall Astra Estate, and then in the end now I think I'm 40. Well, I'm 40 now, and I finally got the van I want. I got a crew cab van, so it's nice to see people going through the same thing and look back and I remember the dark days.
There's only one thing I want is I want a Ranger or a Amarok. Completely pointless.
Do you think the Rangers would be a bit of pain in the arse?
Yeah, they are, and
you'll just want one.
Just want one. I want it. I can't stop looking at them. I'm looking at them all the time on eBay and Auto Trader. I just want one. I just want one.
I always wanted a crew cab, and I've got one now because I do more technical work. I don't need to put lengths in, but doing what I was doing now, contracting, I could never have had one because it'd have been shitted up.
Why do you want a crew cab? Who wants a crew cab? It's not as if you've got loads of friends. Don't even lie about it.
I'm on with 4 kids. I'm on with 2 kids, sorry. So 4 of us and a caravan. Got a total wobble box, I know. So yeah, I want the crew cab. Does best of both.
Go away in your van.
Yeah, mate. I've got a caravan.
There's a word for that. It's called traveller.
No, because I got to go to loads of festivals and that. So instead of going
do you mean festivals? You're 40.
Isle of Wight festival, and then
there's
loads of raving, mate.
With your family
booze and dancing. Yeah, take them all. That's what we've got a crew cab for. There's loads of kids festivals and that. But I don't want to poo in a box, and I want to have a shower, so I bought a caravan. That's what I bought it for festivals.
Stop a sec. Just stop.
We'll start about this about Jimbo.
No, listen, we're going off topic here. Who in their right mind at 40 years old wants to go to festivals? I
I'm a
can
raver,
think of
mate.
anything I want to do less than
I
go
was
to a
born a
festival.
raver. I'll die a raver. Yeah.
Jimbo, do you even go to festivals?
I have done. It's not for me, to be honest. I hate being dirty. I need to have a shower every
See,
day.
you
So
need a
like
cat. You know,
Jamie's point
you
is a
need a
good idea,
caravan, mate.
but yeah, I've done V Fest 2 years back, and it was the most disgusting thing I've ever done. Just yeah.
See, I think I just can't believe you drive around in a caravan going to festivals. Like, I don't get it.
Well,
I don't know if we can be
on
friends.
that bombshell,
I don't know if we can be friends anymore, to be honest.
you live in
Kind of
Kent.
weird. It's unsettling.
Well, I want to. My name's Jamie Blayton, and I own a caravan, and I want everyone to know. Yeah, but what I really want to know is more about Jim and his self-employed. We are so off-piste. We're in the lake again.
But Jimbo, so you get back to Wales and you think, right, I can do this by myself now. How's that gone for you?
So I didn't obviously at the start I didn't know anything about business. I've always been just a worker. So business side of things, I didn't know nothing. So I spoke to obviously some people I knew, and my old supervisor before I moved to Tom, he got me in with a company working there, self-employed. So we was just working in hospitals and whatever, while I was setting up all my own stuff then, just gradually building it. And it's kind of how it's been. And now I was doing that, but I was doing that 5 days a week. So then I was doing my own stuff after weekends. And that can get very tiring very quickly.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Someone
Sounds familiar.
Someone today actually phoned me up about there's a fire damage rewire down the road. It's I don't know, it's about 10 days work. They're like, you can do it after work. I'm like, no, I can't. Nah.
What's interesting, Jim, is everything you said so far reminds me of myself, yeah. And I think loads of people say that. You started off in a car, moving up to a van. I bet you had no tools, did you? Like, oh, I've only got one drill, I need this, that, and the other. It's all coming together now. What about the accountancy bit? Because that's the bit I think most people are scared of. You tell me how you found that. What's the crap with that bit?
I don't mind it too much, to be honest. I'm quite organized. So starting I was just using my personal card at the start, but I was keeping my receipts for anything I bought, materials and stuff like that. I was quite old tracking in envelopes, and then I made my own Excel sheet basically where I was just tracking what I bought, where I bought it, how much, and then everything I earned, I just chucked 20% away. No matter what.
Mate, have you been reading my business guide? This is literally I can't fault your methods at all. Can't fault your methods.
It's just basic. I still do it now. I just whatever comes into my business account now, I just chuck 20% away, and that's for my end of year tax thing.
What about accountants there? Because that's what I was getting at. But what you said there, I would echo that. If you go on your own, 20% of it, just put it in a separate bank account. It's not yours. And if you're VAT registered, 20% goes in there and all. Excel, can't fault that because it's basic, it's cheap. But what about account? There is, but if you learn to use Excel, you'll never get let down. And you know that, Sam, because you bum Excel.
I do. I love an Excel spreadsheet. I love an Excel spreadsheet.
You can move on to Sage, QuickBooks, or whatever it is. Yeah, but at the start, if you use it, at the start, you'll never regret learning to use Excel.
Link in 100%.
So when you say accountancy, do you mean affording things there, or?
If I was going to say, if I had one bit of advice to anyone going into business, if I was going to sell myself a business course for $12.99 a month, which you can, no, not really. The one thing I would say to people is records, which you're doing. Every single receipt is a money back of the tax man. And the one thing I would say is get a good accountant, but don't go to get a good accountant who's at your level, so who deals with small business. I've had one for 20 years who's been fantastic. They save me more than they give them. But I didn't know how you tackle that, because for someone who don't know, that's maybe like an unknown. And that is my top advice: is get a good accountant.
For me, I've only had to do one self-assessment so far, really, because I've only been like 2 years self-employed.
Yeah.
So the first self-assessment, the accountant with Tom helped me do it because she was from Wales as well.
Oh, I know you Welsh people
sit
together in English, yeah.
Yeah. So she helped me through it the first time. And obviously, I am not to do another one since now, because I'll have to pay that amount now this January, which I have got to pay.
Oh, do you do it yourself?
Yeah, she helped me through it. I
There
went up
one.
there, sat down, and she just went through it with me. I'm not going to do it again this time myself, though. I'd rather just
Pay
pay,
an
like you say, an
accountant.
account and just get it done. I know I got the money there because I've been putting it away. And just pay someone else to do it. Got all my
How are
receipts
you
ready
so
for them.
sensible? First
Yeah,
of
that's what I'm thinking. It's like
It's
like,
not.
we've
It's not.
got
It's.
legs
I
put
get.
in.
It's like it's weird, but I just need to be. If I'm not organized, I just get stressed. Like it's weird. I need
I,
to know everything's in place.
I know a guy. He might listen, so I got to be careful. Yeah, I'll make him generic now. We'd go to work, and he'd go, come and supper with me. Yeah, yeah, nice one. So you're going down the motorway, get the coffees in at cost whatever. You 2 hours away from anywhere, and he'd be around. He'd go in and get them. He'd jump in the van. He'd sit on the floor. I'm like, what are you doing, mate? Oh, I can't be asked to put that through my books. Like 2 coffees in a motorway service station back then was like £8, probably more now.
Yeah.
Well, you can have 20% back of that as VAT straight away, and then you'll get. I'm not sure the ins and outs. I don't do my accounts, but some of that is a deductible expense, isn't it? But if you're thinking like
Yeah.
that for £8 here, £4 there, £3 there, if I go and buy 190, I went to the hardware store today and bought some key rings. You know the ones you put your keys on, the circles. 97p. I will put that through my books. I don't let anything go. If anyone's having that money, it's me. And I think
that's because
that's
you're
No.
northern, isn't it? That's the
well,
northern.
yeah, but I'm not as northern as Mark, which is why I've got me here. But I think don't let anything get away. Don't let anyone have anything
No.
off you. If
It's
you can claim it
all you,
back,
all you grab is just like a little box in your van, car, whatever, and just as soon as you buy something, just chuck it in there. Like for me at the minute, I'm not buying loads and loads of materials because I'm still doing self-employed work. I do a couple of jobs a week myself. I'm not like receipt. So it's not like massive amounts of paperwork I have to keep on. But if I get the odd Friday spare or weekend spare, I'll just chuck it, like I said, on an Excel sheet, catch back up, and then it's there, ready.
yeah. What's
But
so
I go on.
because you're so sensible about it, which is not that we're thinking you're going to come in and be like useless, but because you're so sensible about it, what have you learned now? What's the one tip you'd give to someone who's starting their own? And you're 2 years in on it, so what would you say? Hang on, you make sure you do this. So I've got accountancy. That's where I'm going to go. We'll all do one. I'm going accountant. Get a good accountant. Can't go wrong. What
Just
about you,
don't.
Peer?
I'm not rushing. I'm not rushing anything. I'm not trying to push my business so quickly where I'm going to bankrupt myself. I'm just slowly, like I said, I'm still doing self-employed work. I'm not crying out for work. I've got my own jobs coming in when I want them every week, and I just keep everything organized and just build it slowly. I'm only 24. I got plenty of time to grow the business. Why rush it? That's my thinking of it. It's if you
And you could
rush
buy a
things, you
house
can.
in Wales for like a fiver.
Yeah. Well, I bought a one-bed flat. I bought it 3 years ago, I think. So I got a cheap mortgage. I'm set. Like I just slowly build up, and I'm all right.
This guy's
He's on it, isn't he?
properly set, isn't he?
But like you said,
Well,
it
it
was
don't
like it
matter.
cost me like a fiver.
£2.50 because it's a flat. No, it's good. It's
Yeah.
good. I remember I've done it myself. Sam's obviously got his own firm because he's a contractor. I've had a full limited company that I built up from note. And yeah, I
I'll
think
be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. It's not really my own firm. I am.
Yeah, but you're sole trader, aren't you?
Yeah, but you know what? This is the thing about being self-employed agency, self-employed subcontracting. You're not really self-employed. Well, you are, and you're not.
You've
It's
got to
what's
keep
called.
books, though, haven't you?
No, it's what's referred to as bogus self-employment.
Well, yeah,
Because
but
you're
you
not
still
really self-employed. You've still got all the rules of being PAYE generally, unless you like at the basic level, you're still PAYE, right? But you just don't have any benefits. And I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, after you've been in it a long time, like me, you find your way around it and navigate it to work for you. So I don't. I'm quite free. I get to come and go as I please. If I want to go home at 2 o'clock or whatever, I can do whatever I want. But that's
see that
because
means you're not bogus self-employed, doesn't it? That's
yes,
part of the rule.
I have worked it so as I can be like that by having good relationships with the people I work for. Most of the time, though, if you're just a subby spark, turn up with your tools, labour only, you're not really self-employed. You do your tax return at the end of the year, that you rinse it out as much as you can to get the biggest lump of money back. But again, here's my top tip for anyone who's self-employed. Don't put through the minimum amount if you're doing a tax return, if you want to get a mortgage or if you want to get any type of credit.
Yeah,
It
good one.
bums you badly.
I've
Because
been there.
when we went to get our mortgage, they was like, well, you only earn like 26 grand a year. What do you think you're going to get? And I was like, oh, Do you know what I mean? Because you're putting so much through and trying to get the biggest lump at the end of the year, like 8 grand tax returns and stuff like that. You've really got to rinse it out. And if you are trying to set yourself up in life for anything, don't do that. It has a negative effect.
What I will say is, I want to interject is we're on about. Sam won't reply to an Instagram like I will because can't be asked,
No.
but we are doing some lives, right? If you want to know anything about subbing or contracting or agencies, Sam is the absolute man to deal with it. Not that I'd fucking say about anything else, he's an asshole. Yeah, but if anyone is interested in speaking to Sam about that, would you like to watch 1 hour live where he will answer all your questions because he's on it?
Yeah,
So yeah, so
I
if
wouldn't
any
mind
viewers
doing
are
that.
watching, well, you're good because you said you would the other day before I spoke about this. But yeah, I've had a limited company for 20 years. I'm more than happy to do that. So if anyone is interested, every live, we're going to do some lives now where it's ask us anything. It's only be worth watching if you're going to ask us questions. And if anyone likes the idea of that, let us know because I'm sure there'll be people watching this going, oh, what about this? What about that? Even to Jim, like, oh, because Jim is in this position here where what I think to myself sometimes is, I've done all right, you know what I mean? Could I do it again now? If I was 24 like Jim, could I do it again? Because social media's there, advertising's different. It's all
I was a
changed.
lunatic at 24. I was a lunatic.
I was self-employed from 21, but it's all changed. That's what the thing is. Like I say, I was a lunatic as well, like yourself. But could I? I know you're using social media, Jim, but I don't think I could have dedicated that much time when at that age.
How
Yeah,
successful is social media being for growing what you're doing?
oh, massive. Like, yeah, 100%. I wouldn't have got a lot of my work. A lot of my work does come from YouTube. People watching my YouTube.
Wow.
The
That's the
biggest
second
platform,
week we've had this,
TikTok.
isn't it? It's the second week we've had the same thing going up, which is really interesting.
Yeah, is it? Me and Sam were speaking off camera a little bit. I was explaining like my YouTube, I lose money on. I lose a lot of time on it. Like like you sit on about I editing, me learning to use Premiere Pro. Spent hours last night. I was up till like 11 and just editing the video to upload a day. And I was the second part of it. So I'd already spent a load of hours doing it. Then I'm recording the video. It takes so much time. And like if I gotta pay someone to record me or pay things from the video, I
or have a
lose
really
money on
long
YouTube.
arm.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at me.
No, but it's just that's what people don't realize. It takes so much
But
time.
you get in the but take that time. I don't know how much on a day, but take that time and put a monetary value on it. Would you spend that on advertising like maybe I used to, or people of my generation used to in little magazines and papers? That's an interesting juggle. But yeah, it's but you cracked on with it. You know what I mean? It's good output and stuff like that, and you know where you're at.
I don't chuck out willy nilly now. Like when I first started, I was putting out crap videos. Looking back at it now, so I only upload what I'm happy with now, and I'm not rushing.
I actually watched you comment on someone's video where you said, I think it was Corey's, wasn't it? And you went, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to put out. I'm sure it was you. You went, I'm going to put out when I'm happy, and I think they, to be honest, I think they're the best YouTubers when they put out when they're happy.
Yeah,
they're the ones I watch.
Yeah, it is better. Like I don't. Like I say, I'm not in YouTube to make money. Obviously, some people maybe, but that's not it for me. It's more of like a CV. People see what I do. If people want me to come do some work for them, they know what I'm like already. So it's just a good like you say, advertisement, and it also helps people. So it's like why I don't mind doing it, but I'm not going to upload every single week. I would never be able to do that.
Yeah. What's interesting as well is obviously we had Willis on last week, who's 20 years older than the
Wills.
exactly the same thing. Wills.
Say Willis every time. It's not Jeep.
Well, I'm sure it. Willis was on last week. Because if he was a Jeep, you'd be riding him, wouldn't you? No, he was on last week. 20 years difference, and he's saying the same thing in a different area, which is really interesting. So yeah, it's.
I don't understand how you get local, like how you get local work from it. Because how do they know that you're? Well, I suppose if you're watching it, but I don't understand how it works. I really don't. Maybe I'm just at that age.
I've just had like people message me. You're always a bit reluctant when people message you. You never know. Are they a bit like, serious, or they just, but when you actually get chatting to them, you get a vibe, and then you send them quotes. I've had loads of work from YouTube.
I've got some work for my firm's doing it. I've got my own company, but I also work for a firm, just in case anyone didn't know. I don't mention it much. I've got some work to do in a certain area of the country. I need some contractors. First port of call was people. This was today. First port of call was people I'd spoke to on Instagram, and I knew where they were, and we chatted. And I thought, well, they're on Instagram. I've watched the work. I've spoke to them. They seem like they considerate and caring. well, I'll contact them straight away, and that's what I did. Which is so. In fact, what I'm saying is I'm too old for it, but I'm actually using it myself, which is really weird.
So
But
tell me
Yeah,
this.
that's it.
Tell me this quickly. What has been the hardest thing about going out and being your own boss?
Uh, Time. Like yeah, no, it is. At the moment I'm up about 5:30, 6:45, going to the gym, having breakfast, then do a little bit of paperwork after that, going into work, finishing work, coming home, editing a TikTok. If it's YouTube, editing a YouTube video, and then cooking dinner. By that time, it's like almost 9 o'clock, and you're back to bed. It's just repeat, repeat, repeat. So yeah, it's just time. I could do another 4 hours in a day.
Wow. So you're pretty dedicated to, because what I'm trying to understand is what is your driving factor? Why are you doing this? Where are you going in life? What is, I'm not going to ask you
Hmm.
where do you see yourself in 5 years, but what I want to know is what's the end goal for you?
It's a good question. To be honest, with you, I'm still working it out. It changes all the time. The first thing is everyone just wants to make loads of money, and that was kind of the thing at the start. Obviously, when you start to realize money's not everything, you want to be comfortable with money, but you also want to just be happy, live a nice life. Like what I'm doing now is not sustainable. Even if I was earning 100 grand a year, what's the point if I'm not using that time, my life to enjoy it? If that makes sense.
Because I feel like if you've got the work ethic, like you're saying, like this grind that you're doing every day, you have to have a certain level of work ethic. Now, to work like that sustainably, you got to have an end goal. Are you just a weirdo that likes working like that?
Nah, I don't know. I just want to see how far it can go, and to a point where not that you don't worry about money, where you're comfortable. I work for myself every day. Get to a point when you're about 50, you got say like some sort of passive income where you just got money coming in. You don't have to work every single day, living comfortable.
I
I'm not
wish I
expecting to
was.
drive around in Lambos and
oh, you're not going to Andrew Tate it then, no?
you
Don't
never know.
listen, listen. Don't badmouth Top G.
Okay, he's good at selling people. No,
Free Top G.
oh my god, I'm not going to get into it. We'll do a separate podcast on it.
Free Top
But
G.
yeah, what I want to know is obviously you do is your work predominantly in Wales?
Yeah.
So obviously we know Wayne A1. He's predominantly Wales. So do you fight over that small patch or is
No, I
sharing
don't.
it?
It's like at the minute, it's like I probably should go into a bit more. At the minute, I'm still doing a lot more, like a lot of self-employed work. Consistently, I'm pretty much 4 days like subbing, working for a company who I done my apprenticeship with.
Oh, so
Because
you're
I
subbing and doing your own work. That's the secret
yeah,
sauce
at
for
the
you at the minute, is
moment,
it?
because basically, like I got loans for my van, which I want to pay off, and obviously I got the mortgage bills and whatever. So I want to. That's a guaranteed income for me every single week with this company. They want me there week in, week out.
Mm.
That's guaranteed money for me, and then I have 1 or 2 days off a week to my own stuff, which I get consistently, where I earn, you know, better money than I am working for the company, and I'm on my own for 2 days. And then like I was saying, I slowly just build it out over time now, where maybe go down to 3 days on my own, then 4 days. But I'm in no rush to just jump out in the deep end. I'm happy
What
doing
sector?
industrial work.
Oh, right, there we
Industrial,
go.
yeah. So I love doing the industrial. I much prefer industrial commercial over domestic. But I
Agreed.
understand that for myself, I need to do domestic. But at the same time, I really love doing industrial. So I kind of want to keep doing that for the next probably 4 years, either way. So I will be subbing for the next,
You've got to do
say,
it, mate.
four
When you
years.
start out, you take what you can, don't you? I remember like being set up for industrial work in a van, then going and fitting some downlights from old day because when you're starting off, shit's got to be paid for.
See,
Yeah, no, it's
the thing is with all this, like, I can't do. I hate doing domestic work because when I moved down here, I was going out on my own, and I went and got my 18th, and I signed up to Napier and all that sort of stuff. I was ready to go out on my own, and I picked up loads of work, like locally. I was doing quotes every night. I got a job at. I actually done a job in a school, all kinds of stuff locally. But I didn't like. I miss doing commercial industrial. I didn't want to fanny about in people's houses. I hated it in the end.
Mm.
I had a couple of really nice clients locally, and then when I got that school job, I was like, do you know what? I just want to do this. I
I
don't
think
want to do domestic.
it's also got some people love it, don't they? But I'm the same. I just cannot be arsed with it at all. Even now, I said
No,
it the other week on the podcast, even mates asses, can you do my fuse board? I don't care if you're my next door neighbour, not happening. Done, dusted. And fair play to any people that do go out dragging super rods up walls and putting their hands through dead screws in floorboards and chopping little holes because they're just decorated, and all that stuff. Just can't be doing with it at all.
no, it's just, yeah, it's just the balance I got at the minute is nice. I'd like to be on my own for a couple more days probably, but like I said, it's more I got a guaranteed income at the moment, so I kind of need to pay off my loans, and then I probably will go down to do more myself. But I'm just enjoying the balance. I enjoyed, like I said, doing the industrial way. I'm still learning a lot of the industrial. You'll never stop learning in that sector, and just keep doing the domestic. And just like I said, find the right customers. I'm not desperate for customers. I'm not going to work for £60 a day, or some people
No,
charge
you're
stupid
right,
money.
mate.
I pick my jobs. If I don't want to do a job, I don't have to do it. I got my wage in anyway, and then
There's no wrong way you're doing as well. Like going back, working for a firm. I mean, when I started off, I used to work for Tarmac, which are Lafarge, which were Blue Circle for anyone remembers back in the day, making cement stuff. And when I left there, I went from being a heavy industrial electrician on a process control cement works to fanning around in people's asses. And when they asked me back to do some work for them, I bit their hand off because I was getting paid on my own to do work for them. And in the end, at one point, I did a 3-year stint for them. I got come off site for about 3 years, and I went back for another 5 years. And that's quite a large portion of my thing. But there's no wrong with going somewhere constantly. If they pay your wages and they want to employ you ad hoc, you provide them the service, aren't you?
yeah, no, it's just yeah. Until like I said, I find a lot of people jump straight in the deep end and rush to grow the business. Like it's a massive rush to do it. I just don't see the rush in myself. I'm 24. I got plenty of time to just slowly build my client base up, find the right customers, and just go just do it slowly.
It's wise words, and what I would I'll finish that. What I would add is when I'm sure everyone agrees when you start, no matter how many velocity bags you've got, DeWalt tools you've got, backhoe socket sets you've got, and all the other shit that I've got now, and that you see more older spots on Instagram, it doesn't matter a foot when you first start out. If you have to carry tools around a bucket, you do that, don't you? But a lot of people think you need all that gear to start when you don't. You just need to be a conscientious spark who can do the job, not have everything the best it can be.
So are you going to branch out on your branch out and try and get some commercial work, some industrial work, or
I will.
I think that's a secret sauce for someone like yourself. You're obviously industrious. You obviously want to go and be your own boss, but like maybe if I was 20, if I had this brain at 24, I'd have probably tried to get into doing my own commercial work.
I agree, but there's a lot. You need money behind you. I find with commercial industrial, you need like I'd say at least 10 grand behind you, in my opinion, to do a lot of the industrial commercial jobs, and that's when you start getting into your payment in like 3 months. That's when business starts to struggle. I'm not nowhere near that level yet, so I don't even want to touch industrial commercial until I got a bit of money behind me, all my like NIC accreditations and all of that. That's miles away from where I am, but I will get there, no doubt. But
I could have done, looking back, because I'm reminiscing now proper, like I could have took on massive jobs and I could have been making loads of money, but you've always got the chance you could go bust. And I know people that have took on like massive blocks of flat and they're just gone. They just main builders took them. And I weren't as steady as you. I think I was a bit more blasé, you know what I mean, when I started out. But I still didn't take on. I was just looking and go, you know what? If that builder, because I'm knackered, so I walked off. But there's a lot.
Of funny. I've worked with this geezer, right? I call him a friend, but he's such a maverick, right? So when I was back in Croydon, his agency Spark, he lived local to me, and we've been on a few jobs together and stuff like that. And one day he phones me up and goes, "I've got a job for you." do you want to come and work for me? I've got a block of flats. I was like, what are you talking about? How have you managed that? He goes, mate, I just chanced it. He said, they supply everything. I just supply labour and I run the job for them. And I was like, all right, sweet. So I went there. It's good money, real good screw. He never even turned up at all. He went into it knowing that the job was all like, he went into it as a money grab. And I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I would
He
totally.
went into it as
Yeah.
a money grab. Do you know he made 200 grand out of that? He nicked 200 grand out of the job. They kicked him off the job at the end because he
In his
didn't
Ferrari.
come in. He just would run it from his bath.
Yeah. And do you know what? There is. I don't know if you get them as much anymore, but because everyone's screwing up, aren't they? But there was jobs where you're like, fucking, I can make like 400 grand out of this, and I've gone. You know what? I just got. If I ever got a bad vibe, and I know, no one can explain to me, it's like, my mate got me for a job fitting some generators in hospitals. Like, got a totally bad vibe about the main contractor not doing it. He's like, what do you mean you fucking if we could make a fortune? I never know what happened. Don't know if they went good or bad,
But it didn't matter
you've
if he
got to
went
go with your
bust.
instinct. Oh
Could
yeah,
he
I mean,
done-
if
what
he's
he
in a
done is
win-win situation,
he set up a limited company.
yeah,
He went into it. He'd put his invoice in and hope to get paid. And then he'd get paid. He'd dish out to the lads.
yeah.
And then he'd keep the cream for himself. He went into it knowing that he was going to get fucked at some point.
It's high risk, though, isn't it? Because do you want 30 sparkies knocking on your door at night? Because I don't.
No, but he kept enough of the cream to cover it when it would happen. But then made 200 grand out of the job.
It's a whole
He just
other
went in
podcast,
with,
isn't it?
he went in balls out, cleaned up. But again, it's a risk. He could have gone in and got absolutely mullered.
Yeah.
But he
And
went
that
in
is-
and mullered them. It was a success story. It's not the greatest story. It's a bit naughty.
No. It's one of them. Isn't it? I would imagine every Sparky who starts off will sit there one night on the kitchen table, rubbing the thumbs together and going, sure, what should I do here? And they're the ones that make or break, don't they? Either got the bailiffs coming back round for your van or you're walking away with a few hundred grand. But
He didn't
no
care.
one, what I will say about this is, yeah, no one's teaching you that shit on the course, are there? Yeah, no one's,
No.
even people like, if you got him on now and sat him here, he won't
wish I
tell
could.
you how to make money, would he? I can't tell you how to make money. I've done all right, but I can't, I've only got advice.
He's
And
a bit of a duck and diver. And one day I might see if I can get him on. I doubt
they're
it.
the best ones, though, aren't they? You can deal
It's
with people
just-
who've got a bit of bounce.
He just pulled off a massive cash grab. 10 minutes from his house. They're building these flats. And he pulled off this cash grab by just going in there, balls out, saying, yeah, I'll do this. I'll supply the labour. You supply the gear. I'll run the job. He had this geezer running the job for him. I was there working. I wasn't there long because it was a weird job. And then plus I moved. And mate, he cleaned it up just by having the balls to go in there and do it, set his own terms. They bit his hand off, and he had 200 grand out of it. And good luck to him.
If you are going on your own, and I think I thought about this the other day, and I want to mention it because it relates to everything we just said then. Yeah, there's one thing you do need. Do you know what it is?
Go on.
Anyone's got their own. Everyone's going to admit to having a bit of this.
Go on.
Look,
Oh, fully.
it's one
Fully.
way or the other. Like you can go on. You can read every autobiography by every businessman in the world. Go on all the business courses. Read the HMRC inside out, and it all just boils down to one day whether you're in the right place or the right time, or you got luck at. Jim will probably get it. He'll probably be in the right place at the right time. So go, I've seen you on YouTube. I own a massive, I don't know, widget making factory. I want an electrician. I literally went round to do one of my mate's jobs. A guy called Kenner, he might listen. He used to fit kitchens. He used to do electrics for kitchens. He became a sparky, short course sparker, did the electric kitchens. And one day he goes, I'm round a guy's ass. He wants Sky putting in to his bedroom, and I don't know how you do it. Will you come and do it for me? So I went round there. Fucking ass was massive. Yeah, guy owned a big ink factory, like that make. If you've got a label in here that's got ink in it, they make it. And he went, "Oh, I need some work doing down my factory." 7 years of work there for it paid my
Lovely.
mortgage off. You know what I mean? And I can't teach anyone that. That just happened. But I was in the right place at the right time, and it just happened. And I think everyone has one of those moments, as much as everyone has one of them moments where they're like, "Oh, what the fuck have I done here?" So yeah, you can't. It's just, I think there's a lot of luck involved personally, and I would always say that to anyone starting out.
Yeah. How important do you think, though, this is a question to both of you, is building a good reputation? Like, I know a couple of people who are getting so much work now because they're reliable and they do a good job, and it is they're batting it away.
Yeah, I think the basics people forget is like just turning up on time. Like I tell a customer I'm gonna be there for 8, I'm there at 8, and I'll just clean up and get the job done. Like, and that is it. I think that's all customers want sometimes. And I try to explain to people like I have a joke with a boy sometimes in work or some of the customers that we actually do work for how much I charge myself, which ain't a lot. But they're like, but you can't charge half your stuff. I'm like, right, I can. Some people want to pay and just you turn up on time, get a job done, and go home. It's tidy. That's all they want. People will pay the money for reliable service.
They
That's
will.
all it is.
And
That's
do you know
the
what the other
pearl
thing
of
is?
wisdom that will go across everything. So in my game, that is like the subcontracting game. All the new guys and like where I'm doing a lot of like I'm in a more like management roles now. I just say, listen, you got to make yourself valuable and stand out amongst the others, and you do that by turning up on time every day. Even if you don't stay the whole day, at least turn up on time and turn up consistently, and you will become more valuable to people. Because the worst thing in the world is booking a tradesman and then not turning up, because
I'll add
now
to that.
it throws your schedule out.
What I'll add to that is, and because you said both, that is a great one. I'll totally agree with that. But other one is communication. If you're late, ring them up and I'm late, mate. Oh, I've just done this. I've done that. That's sorted out for you.
Don't
What you
ever
have to
ring
do
me
is
and tell me
done.
you're late.
Well, no, but not if you like one of the regulars, like every day you're ringing up. But if you are known for being on time and you're late, mate, something's happened today. Communication's key. People just want to know where it is, what's happening. It's ring up. That job's done. I'm doing this one. Talking to people.
I'd agree with
People
that.
love knowing where they are. What I'm saying is, if you are the guy that's early every day, don't not ring up because you're always early. Just honest. Honesty goes a long way, doesn't it? And big communication, I would say.
And tidying up. If you're in a domestic one, tidying up. If you're an electrician on a building site, you don't do tidying up. That's not what we went to college for 3 years for.
You won't get a chef to watch your own pots, would you?
No, you don't. So let them tidy up. But if you're in someone's house, unfortunately, you have to use something called a broom, dustpan and brush, or a hoover. Now, I don't really know what they are. My wife would tell you. I don't know.
But yeah, there's some good stuff come out tonight. I think anyone who's starting out, I mean, if you're going to start this year, fucking good luck to you, you know what I mean? Like,
No, do you know what? Apparently,
there's
this
a
is
loads out
popping off
there.
already.
Well, I said earlier that I looked for some sparks off Instagram. The email I got off my boss, this isn't commercially sensitive, yeah. He said, I've contacted a load of local Sparkies, and every single one of them said to me, sorry, I'm really busy with the work. And they are a company, you can Google us and see how big a company we are, you know what I mean? You can see you're going to get paid, the reliable firm. But he says, literally, nice conversation with people. Really sorry, I can't fit you in. So maybe the economy's not as bad as it
Didn't
looks. I
find
don't
me
know.
though,
But
did you? Prick.
well, no, because you're not in that area of the country. That's why.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think yeah, we haven't had issues with myself at work or the company I'm doing work for now. They haven't had any issues really with work. So whether it's a thing we notice a bit further down the line, the knock-on effect, but people still seem to be wanting to spend the money. Like especially
So
commercial and industrial, people have to spend the money to make
the
money.
general gist from getting from this conversation is we're all agreeing that there is work. I'm not going to say plenty, but there is work there. Yeah. But I'll tell you what's not there is the right people. I bet every firm will whinge
They're
about not having
talking
the
about
right
this,
people.
though, aren't they? They're talking about the skill shortage and like how there's not enough electricians and stuff, which is great for us. It's great for us, really. Those who are electricians now, are competent and capable, can go out there and earn a bit of dough and earn some proper money.
I
Like,
suppose if you're starting out on your own, think about it, you should say to yourself, look at yourself in the mirror and go, I'm a wank. And if you say no, go on your own. If you say yeah, stop on the books. That's it. Just be honest with yourself. Am I shit or am I all right? Because if you're all right, if you're a good sparker, I stand by this to the day I die. Yeah. If you are a good sparker, you'll never be out of work. But if you are a shit ass, you can always find PAYE work. But yeah, just be honest with yourself about that
yeah,
before
but
you
have
go
you
and spend
seen
a load of
some of
money.
the PAYE job? Like, I don't know if you guys keep your nose to the ground or anything, but when you see like on Indeed or something, they're like 38 to £41,000 a year for a PAYE spark.
I've seen less than that today. I've had a couple of emails just before I got up here. One of them was a commission engineer. Yeah, I'm not sure what for. I think it was machinery, but that's a skilled job. You need to not only know how the machine goes in and works, but how to tweak it to make it work. Yeah, and it was 35 grand. I emailed him back out and go, "Are you fucking nuts? Are you taking the piss?"
It's
No,
mad.
fine. It's like, don't get. Sam said this before. It's only a race. Sam's quote: "If it's only a race to the bottom, if you get in the race in it."
Exactly.
So, like, if you see that job for 35 grand this month, think I could do that, but I'm not taking that pay cut. There's a good chance next month it'll have gone up because they haven't found anyone.
That's an interesting point, actually. How are you? Oh, it's gone out of my head. So dumb. So, no, it's back.
Professional
It's back. Hold on.
podcasters, we are.
Hold on.
This is the
It's
professional
back.
podcast.
When it comes to pricing a job, obviously you're not caught up in a race to the bottom because you can be choosy. How are you finding that? And is that something that you've had to consider?
Yeah, so recent, I was just the way I've always thought is how long that job will take me. I know myself how much I need to charge an hour, and I would just divide that up and how long it's going to take me, if that makes sense. But lately, I've started to find that I'm getting like more quotes, obviously month by month. So it's hard to get these places to check how long they're going to take. Like some people, I want 2 lights. Oh, well, that doesn't really help me. So I've said to a lot of people now, like this is my first hour cost, and then every other hour is this much, and it's just easier for me. Obviously, I get a rough gauge how long something's going to take, so I know if I can book 2 jobs in that day, or just keep it as one, and that's it. So I prefer doing it, giving them my hourly rate, unless I know exactly how long something's going to take. I'll just say my day rate then.
But are you finding yourself getting like, because a lot of people moan about, oh, there'd be someone like, I don't know, putting an EV charger. Oh, there'd be someone who'd do it for 150 quid rather than charging 400 quid in labour. They'd do it for 100 quid in labour. Are you finding yourself coming up against that? And do you care about coming up against that because you know your skill set, you know what you can do, and you're not interested in joining that race to the bottom?
No, I don't want to get involved in any of that. If people want to go for a cheaper quote, crack on. It makes a difference to me. I know my standard of work is always good. I'm never going to rush a job. I know what I'm going to do is decent. So if people don't want to pay for it, fair enough.
See, I think
It is what it is.
powerful. That's a really powerful position to come from. Like, because I never understood, and I have understood that people really, really believe in this race to the bottom. And I did at one point when I was all involved in unions and all that old shit. There was a race to the bottom because we all believed that we was worth more and we weren't getting it, and that someone's going to come over from Eastern Europe and take our jobs and stuff like that. But when you realise you are in charge of what you accept from life, it's your choice to accept these shit rates, these shit customers. It's entirely your choice. You don't have to.
I know why people do it. It's like some people like myself, like people like me, would have just jumped straight in deep end, no studying work. They need to get work every single day, so they need.
But those people sometimes are working for nothing, aren't they?
This is what I'm saying. So it's like they're undercutting themselves. They're working their ass off every single day to try and grow their own business, but they're earning peanuts every day because they got to charge cheap to get a job, and it's just not worth it. It's like that's why I prefer doing what I'm doing. I'm not saying it's right what I'm doing. I don't know. I'm no expert, but I find it. Like I said, I got my set wage. I can pick what jobs I want, and I'll just slowly do it. Like what I do. For me, I just don't understand the jumping in balls deep and just getting hectic, charging low, like 60 quid ICRs and all. It's like, why? Just go self-employed, build up your customer base slowly, and then go from it. That's my opinion. But whether that's right or not, I
don't know. Said before, it can be a cesspit. Like, there's a lot of electrical groups on Facebook and stuff like that. Yeah, these cesspits, it's just people taking the piss out of each other. Right or wrong, people having bants, whatever. But what I've saying, what I try all this years, if we was more of a community and stuck together more, we'd all be better off. If people weren't undercutting people,
never going to happen.
I know it's not. I know, but what I'm saying, there's no place to discuss it. All we can do is maybe get that vibe out and hope people get it. But if someone in Manchester and someone in Liverpool said, "Well, what you charge?" and I'm charging 400, well, I charge 400. They're not in competition with each other, but they're managing the price at a reasonable rate. But when you get the local competition,
it don't work.
And I agree, it doesn't work. I know exactly what you're saying, and I know it's done. But if we, I don't know, but what I'm getting at is we're only shut on ourselves if we shut on each other. You know what I mean? It only ends up coming back on you as a trade. But again, you're right though, in that there's no way you can't price racket it. You can't have Facebook groups because you get dickheads on there being dickheads.
Yeah, but
there's no way of controlling it.
This is the thing with them Facebook groups as well. So This is what killed me. This is what killed me in unions ages ago, right? So when I set up the union, boring. I set up a union, and
Boring.
so what you're
I've
not,
retired to do
yeah,
that.
yeah, what you're not allowed to do with a union is have union only jobs. That's
Yeah,
called closed shop.
they do that in America, though, don't they?
They
Interestingly
do
enough.
that in America. So you get on a union job, you're looked after. You can't just have union only jobs. But what I done was I found a company that needed labour, and I gave them access to our membership pool so as they could recruit from it.
Yeah.
On on a proviso, they paid £25 an hour, 8 till 4. And this is a good few years back when the rate was 17, 18, £19 an hour. And then after that there was like an uplift and stuff like that. It was my crowning achievement. There was 2 years worth of work. It was my crowning achievement. I had negotiated that mythical £200 a day for 8 hours work for agency sparks and for self-employed subby sparks on the agency circuit in London. Do you know what they turned around and said? Well, that's shit. I was like, well, how much are you earning at the moment?
Fucking
£19 an
on
hour.
there.
I was just like, what do you want from me? Oh, and do you know what? Do you know what the deal breaker was? The deal breaker was the geezer said, what I do want though is I want people to turn up with an impact driver and a combi drill, not an SDS.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
combi drill. The uproar from people in the groups was mental. There's like, I'm not turning up with combi drill.
The thing is,
How dare he?
there's no such thing as a utopia, and I'm not suggesting there's going to be. But what I will say is, I think the people that listen to pods, do like good stuff on Instagram, there are different breed of sparkies. The bottom ends of the wanker ends of sparkies and the twat ends of sparkies, and that they're not on social media. They don't care. You do bump into better people on here, and it's a wise pool to pick from, as we found out at the start when Jim's on about YouTube. But you always get those renegade dickheads that you go, right, we've got your gold-plated SDS, a gold-plated combi drill. We're going to drive to work every morning in a Bentley. You're going to get paid $4,000. They go, well, is the food free? You know, no, it's
I
not.
couldn't believe
And
it.
they'll just moan.
Not only did they say that was there uproar about a combi drill, yeah. The geezers I was working in the same building as some of the geezers moaning about it, who had all of their shit with them, all of their power tools with them.
They've got it already. They're still
And I was like,
moaning.
but you got all your shit with you already. And they're like, no, I ain't. I was like, I'm working the same building as you. Yeah, but I'm doing it on price. I was like, what are you talking about? You got it.
There's always them. They frequent contractors, you know. They never go on their own because they wank. But there's obviously every single trade has got them in it. There's always the twats at the top and the twats at the bottom. Just the politics. It's the same in it. If you're in the middle, floating around, you can always get on, can't you? And be united.
This is the question to end the show. Jimbo, are you a twat at the top or a twat at the bottom?
Whatever. Whatever.
I think the thing is, like, what I want to end on is it's been good. It's been good listening to you, and I'm sure some people listen to this because they're starting off. Yeah, where have you got your best advice from?
Me.
I don't know, to be honest. It's probably social. I don't know. I haven't really been
If
given
it's
advice.
everywhere, say don't. I'm not. You ain't got to say.
Yeah,
Bob, if it's everywhere,
You don't say
it.
me. You're never coming back on.
It's kind of a bit. It's kind of a bit of everyone. You take a bit of advice from everyone you speak to, meet in life. You just
that is probably the best thing you could say because that means everyone can find out, can't they? So like,
that's the wankiest answer of all time.
No,
like,
it's not. It's not.
I just pick it up from everyone.
No, that's good.
Just like you get, like I've had people telling me. I had everyone tell me, "Don't move to London." Best thing I did was move to London. I took my own judgment on that, and then I have little advice from people: do this, do that, and I'll take it on board what I want to take on, and then use it to whether I think it's good or bad.
But so you listen to everyone's advice and then make your own mind up. There you go.
Basically.
What a fucking guy.
Yeah.
Can I just say
but I don't know everything. Obviously, I could be making the wrong decisions every single day on growing a business. I don't know. But you just got to do your own thing.
I'll tell you this one, yeah. And a lot of people have heard this one before, yeah. And I'll say this. If you're in business, here's your rules, yeah. I forgot the rhyme. What's the rhyme? Profit is vanity. Cash flow. No, fucking hell. What is it? Profit is...
Monday
Turnover's
Club.
vanity.
We're out.
Turnover's vanity. Cash flow sanity. Oh, fuck off. I'll put a new comment.
Monday Club, we're out.